21 days before we square it off in the Champions League final. We get a little teaser of what's in store. Chelsea are at the Etihad to put the stoppers on City's title celebrations and take a giant step towards securing a top 4 finish. It's a big one, not the big one, but a very big one nonetheless. Hello and welcome to Matchday Live. I'm in the company of Jason Cundy and Pat Nevin. Boys, I suppose the big question is, Jason, I'll start with you, mate. Has your heart rate returned to normal after midweek?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, guys. It has, yes. It was excruciating, the last 20 minutes of that game, missing so many great opportunities to put the tie to bed and leaving that door open. And I felt the sucker punch may well be coming. And even though they didn't deserve it, 1-0, we've seen enough football in our lives to know that it's never enough to make you feel comfortable. But we thoroughly deserved it. I thought we were excellent on the night, really good. They just had the one chance that I remember outside the box. The header, which really Mendy was always saving. But I thought a brilliant performance. I think our best performance of the season, actually, bearing in mind what was at stake, bearing in mind the opposition. I thought we were superb. Really proud of the boys, and I can't believe it. Honestly, the next day I woke up. I'm not even sure it's still sunk in that we've reached another Champions League final. It's truly a remarkable season again for Chelsea.
It is. It's a monumental achievement, and that's why I think today it's kind of a strange feeling, isn't it? Because we know what's at stake, we know what today could mean, but there are so many permutations that you don't really know what happens today. Pat, we've all done it in the week, and we looked at Man City and thought Champions League final today doesn't mean a lot, but it has huge ramifications in a top 4 finish, and you don't want to get towards the final few games of the season needing something. So it's a good opportunity for Chelsea to go and, I suppose, test the water for a couple of weeks, but also lay down a marker and make a statement.
Partially that, but that's exactly what Thomas Tuchel's saying. He doesn't want to do it today. So it'll be completely different. I'm kind of with him. This is a totally different game. I suspect it'll be 2 different teams that actually take the field. I suspect it'll be 2 different systems that take the field in Champions League and what we see out here today. But it'll be great to win. And for us, it's all about the league. We have to make sure with the run-in we've got, this is a hard run-in. But it's a hard run-in for everybody. So, if we can get something out of this game, and I'm really hoping for 3 points, but if we can get that out of this game, we put massive pressure on everybody else, including Leicester, Spurs, total pressure on them. If we can do the business here, I've got every confidence that top 4 is going to be, we'll have Leicester coming up quite soon, obviously. You lose track of, we're in so many cup finals, but we've got the league game. Those are the 2. If we could manage to come up against Leicester and get that, I think we could have top 4 sorted as well. So I'm kind of excited about every single game. But everyone, everyone feels like a cup final, including this one.
Completely agree. And Leicester and Spurs have both dropped points already this weekend. Jay, that's a big door open, isn't it? Because 5, 6, 7 weeks ago, we're looking at hoping to get a top 4 finish. We need things to go our way. We need results to go our way. Everyone looks at West Ham and thinks they're going to drop off. They don't. Everyone thinks that Leicester might have a little blip. I'm not going to put that down just yet, but obviously the door is open now for Chelsea. And you win today. Chelsea are 3rd in the Premier League. Still got to play Leicester. Still got Arsenal to play. Still got Ham, Aston Villa to play. But today's big for the reasons that Pat's underlined, but also to make up the ground that other teams around us are stumbling on.
Yeah, the results have been kind to us this weekend so far. And do you know what? A point even really wouldn't be a bad point here today. In all honesty, we are playing the best side in the country, possibly, in Europe. Well, they're that good. So I'm going into this game. I believe that we can get something out of it. 3 points would be fabulous. We know that. But we're a good team. We've shown that. We don't give many chances away. Don't give many goals away. And we're a tough nut to crack right now. And if we continue to perform the way that we have consistently over the last 15 or so games plus, I think we will get top 4, possibly top 3. Leicester looked way off the pace yesterday. Way off it. Spurs today. Way off it, miles from anywhere near what's good enough for that top 4, and it's left that door open. You're absolutely right. If we can go through that now with 3 points, that's what a huge giant step that would be to get top 4. But like I said, I wouldn't be disappointed with a point, bearing in mind the results that have happened so far.
Completely agree. So have a little look at how we do predict today will be going then, because your chance to win a £100 Megastore voucher and a signed shirt and play predictor as well. Congrats to Jürgen H from Austria, who scored 86 points for the Real Madrid game in the week to win the prizes. Submit your prediction for 4:30. So you've got about 5 or 6 minutes to get those in on the Fifth Stand app. And yeah, you could bag those prizes. Here's what we've gone for then, only focusing on the final scores, of course. 1-0 for myself, 1-0 for Jason, 2-0 for Pat, and Zach's going to join us shortly. He's gone 2-1. Pat, I know that there's I've seen things on social media that it's a little bit of an atmosphere for City today. Obviously, we know there's things at stake, but do you have an inkling that maybe nerves will set in a little bit today? Why have you gone for a 2-0 Chelsea win?
I just get a feeling that sometimes if Pep has a weakness, he overthinks things sometimes in the big ones. I'm intrigued. I can't wait to hear their team because I want to know what he's going to do. Because he won't. He said in the press that he's not thinking about Champions League. This is a one-off game, but he's not going to take any chances. He's not going to give anything away. He's too smart for that. He's going to win the league. So, although there are fans outside here, and by the way, we can hear them here. I don't know if there's as many as there was outside Stamford Bridge the other night, but they want to win the league. But if they don't win the league here, it's no biggie for them. It really is no biggie for them. And I just suspect that they'll do something weird and unusual. And when they do weird and unusual things, what tends to happen is, they either do brilliantly or they just completely and utterly kick themselves in the foot. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Whereas we'll be absolutely up for it. Look, I think it means more to us. And many times, and Jason will tell you this, see when you have two teams playing against each other and one desperately wants the points and the other would quite like the points. It's quite regular what happens in those situations. A team that's desperate wants them. And I think we're desperately wanting to get those points.
Completely agree. I tell you what, let's go on to what we do want to talk about as well. Hot topic one is Champions League final. Here we come. Let's have a little look at this reaction from Didier Drogba to start with. I mean, I think Didier kind of sums up everything that we've wanted, everything that we've done, every reaction that we all had. Didier Drogba encapsulated. Jace, it was one of the closest, most dominant games I've ever seen. Over the two legs, Chelsea were by far and away the better side. Deservedly got through against 13-time champions, and everything that happened over the two legs. I know you very much like me were kind of, even with 10-15 to go, you can't quite believe the position we put ourselves in and how easy we made it look in the end.
Yeah, we made it, comfortable in the end, but we made hard work of it. That was the thing that would have frustrated, I'm sure, Tuchel, because we are a side that I think are wasteful at times. We're not as clinical as we should be. And in the final, in fact, in both finals, we might find that there's only maybe 2 or 3 good chances in the game. If we have those 2 or 3 chances like we did, and not take them, we will get punished. That's my concern. But it was a fabulous performance. Honestly, like I said earlier, I was so proud. It was just a performance that from a team that trusts their manager, that believe in their manager, and knew exactly what they were doing all over the pitch. I mean, it almost feels unfair to pick out the best player, but N'Golo Kanté. I mean, he's just ridiculous. I don't know how many times I've said this. He is ridiculous. And if you think about the best team, you went back maybe, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, you'd say Cover and Jorginho would be his first choice. How can you leave N'Golo out now? How can you change that? Just remarkable. But look, all over the pitch, I'm just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And it was, like I said, I still don't think it's sunk in.
Joe, do you mind if I jump in for a second, just on the back
of that? Of course, mate.
2 things. If you listen to the commentary, I wasn't particularly perturbed about it. Ben was. I was thinking, look, we keep on making chances here. I can't see them making any chances. So I really wasn't really particularly concerned. I couldn't see them scoring 2 goals against us, and I couldn't see us not scoring. Even if they got 1 within extra time, I wouldn't be worried. I was that confident, right? But it's just a glass half full. I was trying to look about it from the position's point of view. And this is what I asked you, Jason. See what these chances we'll be getting, nightmare. Do you think someone's going to get an absolute battering soon?
Feels like it, doesn't it? You know what? It does feel as though that something's going to happen. Look, if Leicester play like they did last night, next weekend, it may well be them, honestly, because they were shocking. So, look, we're a solid team all over the pitch, every position, every area, every pattern of play. We're just an awesome team now. Honestly, we are. No one wants to play us right now.
Let's have a little look at the manager's reaction, because I don't know if anyone saw this tweet in the week of Thomas Tuchel just taking himself out onto Stamford Bridge turf and letting out a big old roar. And he's done so much over the last couple of months, Pat. We're obviously in a very, very different stage to where we were the last time we were in a Champions League final. But this group, it does feel like the start of something, doesn't it, with this group?
It absolutely does. I have to tell you a wee secret about that. We were doing this after the game, right? And I was really excited about it. And I looked out and there was somebody crouched on the ground. And then this guttural, primeval roar. And I couldn't see who it was. And I didn't have my glasses on. And I was like, who is that? And I was talking to you and I was trying to see it. I couldn't get... But the noise reverberated around the whole place. And then he was off the pitch before I realised, it's Tuchel. It was an extraordinary noise that he made. And a couple of people have talked about it and mentioned it. But I had my earphones on. And it went straight pierced through the middle of them. And he was about 100 yards away. It was an extra... And it shows you, A, what it meant to him, but what a relief it was to him as well. I mean, he's buying into the club and buying into this already. So that was an absolutely brilliant moment for us all. And I think Champions League final, he's showing confidence and all that around everyone else. But I think he's answering your question. This is something special. And this is the start of something special. Because you can't look at that and think, well, they'll be a bit rubbish next week. They are a team that's going to be very good and grow really well together.
Completely agree. Well, I'll tell you what, he's got big games stacked up against each other. And Matt Davies-Adams joins us from the Etihad. Matt, have you got team news for us this afternoon, mate? Hopefully you're keeping dry and warm and you've been able to get things through to you. So can you talk us through it?
Yeah, Pat and I have both got thermals on, which we're kind of regretting because it's balmy way weather now in Manchester. It's not even raining at the moment. But I do have team news more pertinently, Joe. I can tell you there are 5 changes to the Chelsea side that started against Madrid the other night in Reece James, Billy Gilmour, Marcus Alonso, Hakim Ziyech and Christian Pulisic. So it's going to be Mendy in goal, back 3, Azpilicueta, Christensen and Rudiger. Then James and Alonso as the wing backs with Billy Gilmour and N'Golo Kanté in the middle. Ziyech, Pulisic and Werner, I'm guessing, will be through the middle again. Interesting selection on the bench as well. People who watch under-23 football with us will be heartened to see the name of Tino Livramento on the subs bench for the first time. It'd be great if he could get on. I mean, what an amazing place and circumstance it would be for him to make his Chelsea debut.
What huge confidence boost as well, Matt, because you look at the position that Tino has spent a lot of the development games and PL2 games playing in sort of a right wing back, right full back kind of role. And I mean, he's got someone like Reece James to learn from, same as Cesar Azpilicueta. You're absolutely right. He's been superb for the PL2 this season. He's someone I know you've seen a lot of football on, him and Billy Gilmour, both opportunities for both of them today. Even if Tino doesn't get on, what an experience to be involved with. Yeah,
fabulous. And, you think of that shot at full time of Mason and Billy and Callum all hugging, realising they were in the Champions League final. And it was great, but it also shows that there is that progression now. You can move from one building at Cobham over to the other. And Tino Livramento, we're talking about somebody who's made it to the England under-20 squad this season at the age of 18. Played every game bar a couple in PL2. Would expect him probably to go out on loan next season, but what an invaluable experience for him being with the Chelsea first team, but in a game of this magnitude, as I say. City, by the way, 9 changes. Only Edison and Diaz, who started against PSG, start today.
Jace, it's interesting, isn't it? And I suppose that the biggest thing that I've taken from it so far, and I'd love to get your opinion on it, is the confidence that he's clearly got in Billy Gilmour, because this is, like Matt's already alluded to, it's again a huge magnitude. You go into the place where probably the Champions League trophy is going to spend the next the Premier League trophy is going to spend the next 12 months. Champions League's going nowhere near it, mate. Leave it. They're an excellent side. They're a side that are competing in finals all the time. They've got a lot on the line today, but Billy Gilmour, a player that's not had a huge amount of football since the injury and lockdown the first time around, he's got a huge opportunity today against a very well-balanced, even rotated, but extremely experienced City side.
Absolutely. That's the first thing I thought, going into the toughest game of the season, which is, away to the champions. And he's playing Billy Gilmour in there, shows a huge amount of faith, huge amount of trust. And he's shuffled his pack. Both managers have. It's been a massive week for both clubs. Huge week. You've got to go back as well. Picking up 3 points against Fulham, the Real Madrid before that. So if you put that all together, even the last 2 weeks, massive. West Ham away to where we are right now. It's been enormous. And these players do need to come out. You can't keep asking them to go to the well and put in performances and keep doing it. And it's a calculated risk. You know, we know that this best side right now doesn't have Billy in there. But what it does do, it gives him an opportunity to play him in a game where he can go out and he's alongside. There's a lot of players in this team there that are very experienced in and around him. And N'Golo Kante's next to him. He's got Marcus Alonso the other side of him. He's got Tony behind him. He's got players around him that are hugely experienced. But look, I've got no problem with Billy. Honestly, I don't look at that team and go, not one little bit of it. He's an emerging talent. He's going to be fabulous. He's going to be here for many, many years, and he's going to be playing huge games like it is today for Chelsea, and over the coming decade or so. So, big game for him. Why not? Put him in there.
Very big game. And Pat, just something that Jason's mentioned, I think it might have been last week or the week before, in terms of the two in the middle, with N'Golo Kante or Kovacic, the kind of Jorginho role. Someone like Billy Gilmour is extremely suited to that because of his ability on the ball and to keep playing, to keep tempo ticking over. We've seen how good Billy is, but also how important that role is to Chelsea Football Club at the moment under Thomas Tuchel. What a massive pat on the back for Billy Gilmour to say, from the manager, to say, I know you're ready for this. Here's a big opportunity.
Yeah. It is, considering, I think we're talking about the team that we've put out here. We've got Arsenal coming up. And see if you thought, we'll maybe get 3 or 4 points for this, maybe 4 points. Arsenal's kind of the one you want to get. That's the one you can almost put the money on to get the points. So maybe this, if you're going to leave players and give players a chance and switch about, it's probably this one, isn't it? So I'm not disappointed. But then I'm Billy's biggest fan. So I'm delighted to see Billy in. Right, it's great to see that. I have to say, it must have been a consideration to put Reece James in there, because we all know he can actually do that particularly well. He's brilliant in that position. We've not seen it as much in Chelsea, but when Eddie's time at Wigan, he was absolutely superb in that position. So there are other options there. So you're right. It's a big one to say, you go in there, massive position. You've got two players beside you. You've got N'Golo on one side, you've got Kanté the other side. So it's really good to actually have both of them around you. By the way, that's supposed to be a joke there. It helps you get somebody with that sort of energy around you. It's going to give you a little bit of a help. I'm pretty excited about that team. I think it looks a really good team. We've not actually done their team yet. And I've just seen a little look at it. And I'm kind of trying to get my head around it. What? There's so many players. I don't know where anyone plays in that team. It's really confusing.
Thankfully, Pat, you're absolutely right. And I'm sure on the Manchester City equivalent of this show, they have headaches every single week trying to work out who's playing where, but because it's very, very much rotated. We will find out in due course, of course, plenty more build-up to Chelsea and Manchester City from the Etihad, but time to hear from a man that has had an incredibly busy week. His actions have spoken a million words, but he's still got enough energy to squeeze a few more out as he's talking Man City. Here is Thomas Tuchel's press conference.
Psychologically, in terms of setting down a marker, this game tomorrow against Manchester City, is it more important than just 3 points with the Champions League final obviously on the horizon?
Not so sure. I'm not so sure. I mean, the possibility that they can become champions if they win against us will not lower their ambitions and determination. So they have one more day to recover. They don't have to travel. Gives them a bit the upper hand because we saw how crucial that can be these days when they arrived in Wembley in the semi-final, and we had one more day. We had 2 home games in London, at least in London 2 games, and they had to travel from Dortmund, I think, and then again to London for this game. Had also like 1 day less than us, and I had the feeling that I could feel it on the sideline, that it gives us a bit the upper hand. So we have to deal with it, and I think that the final in Istanbul will be pretty unique, no matter what the score is tomorrow, no matter if we win or if they win or if we play a draw. I think that both teams will reflect enough that this one game in football and this special game in Istanbul can turn any result around. That is the outcome tomorrow. So I try to prepare it in a normal way. It's the challenge right now is to get to get our tiredness out of the legs and out of our brain to get a refocus And this is the target right now, to be in good shape tomorrow, and then we see.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Alistair McGowan, BBC.
Hi, Tommy.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask you how important it is for you from a personal point of view to make it to the Champions League final after what happened last season.
Like in terms of a revenge or like satisfying that I'm again there, no, I don't have these feelings in me. It's of course very satisfying on a personal level, but not because what happened in December. It's just because of the fact that I'm absolutely grateful to have the possibility to arrive again in a final, which is up in Champions League, which is absolutely huge. I told you many times that I'm grateful that I have the chance to work in football in general and to work on this kind of level. I'm super grateful for all people around me who push me, who gave me confidence, who gave me trust. And to have a challenge now here in Chelsea feels so good from the first moment. And to arrive with this club and this team in Istanbul is a huge reward for me personally. But not in terms, like I said, that I have feelings like a revenge or like that it's extra satisfying that Paris is not there and I am there. I don't think in these terms. It's always a team effort. We tried hard with any team to have the biggest success, and it feels absolutely right where I am right now, and that's what I'm enjoying. And keep on going. I try to bring out the best in myself every day. And we have 2 big finals now and big matches in the league.
There's been a lot of talk this week about Mason Mount and Phil Foden being young English talents that can maybe boost England at the European Championships. I just wondered what you thought of those 2 players and how good young English players are at the minute. Has it surprised you at all?
They are example of how good young players can be and how good young players from England can be. They are the outstanding examples at the moment. I cannot speak for Phil Foden because he's not my player, but what I see is you see clearly the talent and the desire and the ability to decide any games on any level. So he's a huge player, and he gives me the impression that he is the same nice guy and the same clear character like Mason. About Mason I've spoken now many times. It's outstanding, and he has the full package in terms of mentality, of being humble, of work ethic, and of course of talent. So the national team can be very, very happy to arrive with these kind of players because they are absolutely reliable on highest level, and most important, they are hungry. And they are humble, and they behave exactly how you want to behave. Players in this age, they want to learn, they want to be better, and it seems like they don't feel the pressure, which is pretty amazing, and so can be happy. But before they arrive in Europe, in the European Championship, they both want to have the success for their teams, which means that they will play against each other in the final.
And just last of all, when you go up against Pep Guardiola, what sort of emotions does it stir in you?
First of all, if you play against Pep, you know that the most difficult games has arrived, because he is coach of the best teams in Europe now, and he leaves his footprints, and his style of play is full of courage and full of quality and full of flexibility, and his teams are always super hungry to win. He transforms any team into a winning machine. So it was like this with Barcelona, it was like this with Munich, and it's the same with Man City. They are the benchmark in the league, obviously. It's a big gap, but like we did in the semi-final, it's on us to close the gap for 90 minutes, and then we will do the same thing in the final, and we will arrive, especially in the final, full of confidence, because we have the feeling we deserve to be there, and we worked hard for that to be there. So, but once you arrive, like I said, against Pep, you know the level is high, and you need to be on your very best coaching level to push your team to full confidence. and to hopefully play on the best level, because like I said, they are used to win. They are very, very regular team on a highest level, and it's another big challenge tomorrow.
Moose, talk sport.
Hi Thomas, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Can I first ask you what success is this season? Is it winning all three things you go for, which are
all three, yeah.
Cup, Champions League and top four?
Well, we will try exactly this, because I cannot judge now and judge any result higher or any outcome higher than the other one, because it does not work like this. For me, it never worked like this, not on youth level and not in professional level of football. That you judge your goals and make one goal more important than the other. It simply does not work like it. Reality is that you have to worship every day, and you have to stay with your feet on the ground, because if you arrive in a final, fact is you have nothing won yet, and we don't want to be participants in the final. We want to win it. This club is for achieving finals, but this club is for winning finals, and winning football games, and this is the target. So it's we do good if we keep our feet on the ground, if we keep our momentum going, if we keep our atmosphere, which is built on hard work, determination, good atmosphere, and the laughter. Every day, and a lot of respect and joy during the time that we spend together in Cobham here, and this is what we have to do. We have to absolutely focus on the process, and then we get hopefully the reward. We cannot focus on the result and on the reward at the end and determine success only by that, because that will bring us into a reactive position, and we don't want to be reactive. We want to work hard, that we earn the results. And this is what we did so far. And the challenge is to constantly keep on going every day, step by step.
So you're playing City tomorrow, and you've still got them in the Champions League final. I mean, are you going to play exactly the same way you did at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final, or are you going to keep your powder dry ahead of the Champions League final? What sort of tactics are you employing tomorrow?
Yeah, good question. Not decided yet. Like I said, we have one day less to recover, and we have an away game, so we have traveling today, one day less, which is quite a key factor in these times of the season. So I can imagine that we maybe need some fresh legs and fresh minds tomorrow, some hungry guys who want to show and deserve to get a chance in a big fixture tomorrow. Yeah, if there will be any tactical new stuff tactically, I don't know yet. I haven't decided yet. I need to speak to everybody now and look at the data and look at who's available and who is a bit in an overload, and then we have a high possibility that we see some changes.
And just last one from me, you talk about fans maybe going to Istanbul for the final before. There will be fans at your last home game of the season, which will be a way back towards normality. Just your thought about that, and about seeing Stamford Bridge with home supporters, which you haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I cannot wait. Actually, it's so sad that we play so long without spectators, and we almost get used to it, because we don't want to get used to it, and it changes the game completely. And this is not just words; it is like this. You simply cannot compare. And even with the guys waiting for us now in front of the stadium before the Madrid game and after the Madrid game, was like instantly we were instantly excited and so happy for them, and you could feel the change of energy by having them around, our supporters. So this is big news. We are absolutely excited to play with spectators in Wembley, and after that in a home game, Stamford Bridge, and of course at Aston Villa, and then hopefully also in Istanbul. This is first of all a step back to normality, but I hope that everybody stays safe. If we have these kind of matches, that is the most important, and we will never complain, but we can just say it and tell it out loud as a fact. The game is not the same game within empty stadiums.
Okay, we've got time for two more. One for Natalie and then Nick Purell to finish. Natalie.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi.
Still talking a little bit about the FA Cup match. How different do you imagine these 3 games, considering that they are kind of all decisive games in a way? And how does it feel to be on City's way in 2 titles now, the Champions League and the Premier League?
It feels good because it means that we are there. So we wanted to arrive. We had absolutely no favorites against whom we want to play, because first of all it was like we were absolutely focused on us and that we have the chance to play in Istanbul, and it was the same in the semi-final. We knew that this is maybe the toughest opponent right now in Europe that you can play, and it was the target to close the gap to City for 90 minutes, because this is what you can do in football. You never want to accept that there is any gap, and if you have the feeling you play another team like City, who is in the moment like the benchmark in the league, you step up and you try to close the gap for 90 minutes, and that is exactly what we did in Wembley. And so now it's a league game. They can be champions. They have one more day recovery. That gives them a little bit. It will not lower their expectations and their ambition and determination. So it's a big challenge for us. But listen, I mean, this is why we are here, and everybody who will play for Chelsea tomorrow, everybody of my team will be fully focused and determined to grab the best result possible at the Etihad, and then from there on we go. And the big challenge now is also to forget last Wednesday, because it will not help us tomorrow on the pitch. We should remember our performance and what we put into this game, but forget all the praise, forget all the positive feedback, forget the result, and we start back new.
Last question, Nick Purell.
Hi Thomas, could you just give us a quick injury update on how you fixed for the weekend, and then also just on Cesar Azpilicueta, obviously your club captain, and he's been so influential for you. It seems either if he does or doesn't play, and I just wondered if you could just sort of explain that influence and how much of a help I suppose that's been to you in the success you've had so far, and hopefully more to come.
Yeah, he's a huge factor, a key factor, and a key player for me in this club. He is what he for me expresses everything what I think is typical for Chelsea. He's a fighter. He's a team player. He does not accept limits. He's always available. He is top professional, and at the same time very nice guy, and a very deep in him, absolute team player, and a guy who loves sport and who does everything to play on this level. He's very self-aware, very self-reflected, and it's a pure pleasure to have him in the group. It was like this from the first moment. We had a strong connection from the first moment. I met a very honest, a very open young man, and who is so super reliable on the pitch, and who leaves his heart out there every time he steps on the pitch for us as a captain.
Hazard. Kanté! An unlikely goal scorer, a most welcome goal. Chelsea lead against the champions. It's N'Golo Kanté.
Yeah, Alonso was there as well. Either of them could done something with it. This is Pulisic now getting a breakaway chance.
Oh, and away from Mendy, Christian Pulisic one-on-one with Ederson, strokes it into the bottom corner. Chelsea ahead 10 minutes before half-time. Composure from Pulisic.
Ivanovic now. Chelsea have 4 up, and Hazard is onside. Can he get the ball right? Oh, look at the space for Ramirez. Company against the blockhead. Yeah. Chelsea lead, and it's Ivanovic. All the attacking talent on this field, and the big right back has thumped the Blues into a 1-0 lead. Absolutely stunning. Schürrle's touch was a good one. Now Hazard trying to find some space. There's plenty over on that other side, and he knew it as well, and he got the ball off. Brilliant. And here's Ivanovic on the gallop. Little ball for Diego Costa. Schürrle making the run. Costa sees Hazard. This is promising for Chelsea. Hazard puts it in the mix. Andre Schürrle. Absolutely classic and typical Chelsea counter-attacking football. Superb stuff. Gundogan's just going for it himself. Moses couldn't make the challenge. The pullback, pinball, Alonso Fabregas and clear. And now again, Costa's rolled on to Mendy, who's having a nightmare, and Willian's onside! Chelsea are breaking City hearts here. You know Willian has the pace. He had the finish too.
Welcome back to Matchday Live. They say keep your friends close. 3 weeks from a European final, Chelsea and City square off with 3 points up for grabs in the Premier League. A third meeting of the year already with 1 win apiece. So let's go straight into hot topic 2 then. Chelsea versus Manchester City, a Champions League final dress rehearsal. A great week for both teams. Zach Jalob's joined us. Zach, mate.
Hey, nice to turn up.
He was still out celebrating the midweek, which I don't blame you for. Yeah. Now, mate, it's been an incredible week for both teams, and today you've seen the teams now, you've seen the lineups, you've seen. I was going to say how both teams are going to line up. We've no idea how City are, but I think a lot of City fans don't either, so that's absolutely fine. But it's going to be an interesting one today, isn't it? I suppose they're eyeing each other up from a distance a little bit as well.
Yeah, if anything, you maybe think that Pep's kind of tried to match us with our 3 at the back formation. It gives me more confidence than I actually did at the start of the day about going into this game that we're going to win it. It's good. I think every Chelsea fan can look at that squad and go that we've got the I guess, the more on-form players at the moment. A lot of their players, you don't know how they're going to perform in that certain position, whether they're going to be playing in a position they've not really played before. I mean, it looks like maybe the midfield could be Rodri and Cancelo, which I've not seen too much before. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I just think maybe Pep might have overthought it, as sometimes he does. More so that's happened in the Champions League. But, yeah, we'll see.
Jace, it's I suppose a quite a unique situation that Chelsea and City will be so familiar with each other by the time we play a Champions League final. I suppose it always happens when two teams from the same competition in terms of league and domestic form come against each other in a big European final. But by the time we get there, how much do these kind of games today, the FA Cup semi-final a couple of weeks back, how much do they add to the game? Or does it not matter when you get to a final? Do none of these matter?
I don't think it really matters. Not for them. I think I think if we can go into this game and come out of it without a defeat, I think that it probably does us more favours than them. The reason why is when they beat us, we're a very different team then under Frank. Tuchel then can go into the final knowing that he's not been beaten by Guardiola. And I think the players will know, even though we are playing the best side in the country, we can go in there knowing under Tuchel, they've not beaten us yet. So that's that. I think it would work more for us. I don't think City will be too bothered about it. They know how good they are. They know what they can do. They know this has been coming. They've got an incredible squad, an incredible manager, an incredible team. I think this could do us more favours actually today. It'd be, when you look at both teams, it's not going to be anywhere near what we're looking at right now for the final. Nowhere near it. They've made so many changes. They've made, I think, only two players played today for them that played against PSG midweek. So from my point of view, just looking at Chelsea, I think that we can actually get more out of this than they can. So if we can go into that final, unbeaten by City, under Thomas Tuchel, I think psychologically we can gain something from that going into the final.
Pat, I suppose in a way, like Jason was saying, that we've got a lot more to gain than they have, because it's the unspoken thing. They're going to win the Premier League at some point over the next couple of weeks. They can win it today. If they don't win it today, they'll win it next week, whenever. But do you think maybe there's a little bit in Tuchel today that will get a little bit of a yard on Pep, because he doesn't lose games, Pep Guardiola. He doesn't lose many at all. And when a manager's got the better of him in the past, we've seen, like Zach said, him maybe start to overthink things a little bit. Do you think there's a little bit of more mind games than anything else that could be in play today?
Right. First of all, I have a suspicion I'm going to sound like a Dalek in a moment. They've just moved us up to about 40,000 feet. And I don't think the connections is good, right? But, you can read maybe slightly too much into it. I promise you, if we come out of this game with a win, lose, or draw, we'll just say, move. Champions League, something else completely different. I'm just intrigued that it's just so different from Pep today. As we say, I don't know how that side of his lines up just now. I still don't know. I'm kind of guessing he's taking Cello that right back, and he put Ake in the centre midfield alongside Rodri. He play a 4-2-3-1. I don't know. They might play something completely random, but a 4-2-2-2, which is the old Brazilian system that they used to play. Pep has got every one of them. And simple tells he's given us nothing. He's given nothing away. He's made a massive amount of changes. So it might get inside Pep's head a wee bit. I mentioned earlier on in the show before that Pep gets it wrong when he overthinks. And he's done that in Champions League semi-finals and quarter-finals before. He overthinks. I think if we win today, there'll be something a wee bit in the back of his mind. We'll think, oh, right, what did he need to do for the final? What he should do for the final is do what he does. What's best for his team. Forget about the opposition. But if he's got a weakness, that's his weakness. I don't know if it counts for much today, but it might count for something in the final if we manage to win today.
Pat, can I just ask a question there? On the back of that, looking at their team and their lineup, is there a chance that he is looking at this team set up that he might consider doing that in the final? Do you think there might be an element of that?
Yeah. I think you're 100% right. Absolutely 100% right. Because we're looking at it today, and if he sticks this as a back five, and he does put Cancelo wide one side, Mendy wide the other side, and three centre backs, that's it. He's moving, figuring out, can his team, his unit work and come up against us? remember, that's what Zidane done. He changed his back four to a back five against us. That worked well. Not. So I think you're right. I absolutely got you there, Jason. I think he's considering a number of different things, and maybe also some positive things, thinking, right, okay, I might play two up front against them, see how they cope with that, their back three. Yeah. So that side of it, the technical side of it, is interesting. But it's sparring, isn't it? It's not really, it almost feels like sparring. It's important to, I think they're out sparring. I think we're out for the big fight.
Yeah, it does feel like that, yeah.
You're absolutely right. Someone that could be quite busy this afternoon if Man City's front four, front five, front nine, however they're going to set up our run form, is going to be the man that Jason Cundy's been having a little look at. Superb between the sticks again in midweek. Check this out from Edouard Mendy.
The £22 million Chelsea spent on Edouard Mendy back in September is looking to be very good business indeed. He stands at 6'6", a huge man, but incredibly agile. Since we've gone to three at the back under Thomas Tuchel, clearly we're keeping so many more clean sheets. But we don't score many either. That's why it's so important in big matches and big moments. He makes saves like this, as he did against Fulham. We're only leading 1-0, takes a big deflection, and there's that agility that I was talking about. The game would have been very different if we'd gone in at half-time at 1-1. The thing that's impressed me the most, I think, about him is his dominance from set pieces and particular corners. That was something I felt we really needed to improve with Kerr in goal. He's quick off his line, something I feel he can perhaps do a little bit too much. But once he makes that decision, gets his spaces and his gaps spot on to ensure that ball goes around the post. He's kept 24 clean sheets in 40 matches at Chelsea. And if he keeps a clean sheet today, that'll be his 19th in 25 matches under Thomas Tuchel.
Zach has been phenomenal over the last couple of months. He's been such an important figure for Chelsea, especially under Thomas Tuchel, where everything is so dependable on being solid at the back and not conceding goals. But Jay makes a great point. I think he said this in a week, and he may have said this in his analysis at the start as well, about how agile he is. He makes important saves almost look routine, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. There was a couple against Real Madrid where you just had to sit there and go, wow, we've got a great keeper on our hands. Because I think originally when we got him, Chelsea, I think statistically, all they needed was an average goalkeeper to be really good defensively and keep a lot of clean sheets. And when we got Mendy, I thought he looked pretty good. I've got to be honest, and I don't think many people knew too much about him and his time in France. But we didn't just get an average goalkeeper, we got a great goalkeeper for a cheap fee as well. Not only is he brilliant at making game-winning saves and quick reflexes and reactions, his aerial ability is so good for a defence. Being one of the centre-backs, knowing that you're 6'4", 6'5" goalkeeper whose arms seem longer than anyone's in the world can come out and claim that ball successfully every single time must give you so much confidence and not worry too much when a ball's being crossed in. And yeah, he really has come into his own this season, and I actually think he's probably up there along with players like Mason Mount as maybe our player of the season.
Completely agree. And Pat, his story is incredible. And I know everyone's seen this because it's been well documented, but 6 years ago he was released, I think, from a 5th division French side and was signing on and didn't really have ambitions. He's been playing in a Champions League final in 3 weeks' time. And 16 clean sheets in 28 Premier League games, 24 clean sheets in all competitions for Chelsea this year. This is a player that only signed for us 8-9 months ago, and his stats look like he's been here 3 or 4 years. He's been brilliant, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he has been absolutely brilliant. He also has improved. Don't forget that. And obviously been working with the coaches, a few words from Peter Cech, etc. The biggest improvement he had to make was his rashness coming out too quickly. There was a lot of times, again, Jason, I know you know this.
Yes.
A couple of times the players would turn around and he was standing there.
Yes.
What are you doing here?
Yes.
And he's like, don't be that rash. And he's not doing that anymore. That's the biggest thing. You need to grow up. Goalkeepers take a long time to cook. And this year he has matured so quickly and he's got rid of that side of his game, and that was imperative.
He's actually really good with his feet
sorry,
as well.
Can I just come on that? Sorry. Pat's absolutely right. That's the one thing that would infuriate me about him, because he would be off his line. I'm not so sure his communication skills were particularly great either early on, but they've completely gone. The one thing that there's 2 mistakes that I remember to stick in my head. There was one at Fulham where he goes too close to Aspie, and there was nearly a mix-up. Yeah. And then there was the own goal against Sheffield United. I think Tony scored the own goal. They've gone. They don't, they don't exist anymore. There's not even a rumor of a hint of any of these type of things happening. And again, you look to the manager. I think he's recognised problems and got rid of them.
Well, it's interesting you say that, actually, because our hot topic 3 today is no fear the Tuchel effect. And I think you're absolutely right. What you see with players now, and I know as fans, it's something that we love to see, the videos of the manager coming on at full time and giving everyone a big cuddle, and he talks so glowingly about N'Golo Kanté like he's his son. He talks about players, but he's improved players, none more so than Edouard Mendy, Jace. But when you've got a manager that has got victories over Pep, over Klopp, over Mourinho, Simeone twice, Zidane, Ancelotti, all that conceding a goal. In 4 months, your goalkeeper's going to have played a big part of that. He's clearly had an impact, not just on Mendy, but on the back 3, back 5 in general as well, isn't he?
And Jose, you missed Jose out there as well.
I did. Apologies. Or did I?
Yeah,
no.
I don't know. But no, he's literally ticking them off the list. He's ticking them off the list, and he must have been it feels like he had a real sense of what was going on, and this deal for him to come in and Frank to go out, I think was in the pipeline for probably a couple of weeks. It was just that was what we heard in the press, and my guess is that he's watched loads of videos of Chelsea's games. When those talks were going on, my guess is that he watched every single Chelsea game. He got as much information. But they've gone, all the problems and issues that we had. And there were a few, let's be honest, there were a few in that, mid to late December into January, sadly when Frank left, there were a few problems that needed sorted. They've gone like that. Literally, they've gone like that. They've conceding goals, sloppy goals. There were times in games where we couldn't quite get ourselves back into the game. The passing at times was so slow and laborious, and everything's changed. Look, we're a good team. We were underperforming under Frank, underperforming. I think right now he's getting the absolute maximum and some. You could argue maybe we're overperforming from where we were, but he's Thomas Tuchel, my God. What my word! We're very lucky to have him, and every player, it would appear, is benefiting from his experience.
The belief that you can see in the players as well, Zach. I mean, Thiago Silva was probably the one that I'd take out of that, because you can see the love and affection they have between each other, having played together at PSG, having got to a Champions League final last year. And Thiago Silva looks like one of them people that if you walk into a dressing room and you know that he's going to be on your side, you go, whatever happens over the next couple of months, I'm absolutely fine, because he is a leader that's going to sort things out and detect. But you look at players like Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is a great one. Christian Pulisic's another one. Over the last couple of weeks, we've probably seen the best spells from both of them this season in terms of the performance levels they've both put in. Kai, again, brilliant in the week, superb 2 weeks ago against Fulham. These kind of players that I suppose maybe we see as confidence players. Timo Werner is another one. When you've got a manager that you know is going to back you, you know he's going to support you, and you're getting used to a system, you understand that the area and the level that you're supposed to be playing at, it must make you feel 10 feet tall when you step onto the pitch, knowing you've got the backing of the manager.
Yeah, I mean, half of it must be is having trust, knowing that if you do make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. That when he does go to the media and someone asks a question about maybe missing a chance or not having performed well in a game, that he's going to back you. I mean, I remember someone raising the point about Timo, and he came back and said that Timo's got 22 goal involvements this season. Yes, he might have missed a couple of opportunities. Every player does, and sure, he can improve, but he is, you don't just forget it. You're always a goal scorer, and then hearing that must give you confidence. Having faith that your manager believes in you and wants you to do well, and not just the way he's handled certain players, how he's handled everyone. The fact that you see Billy Gilmour starting against Manchester City, like giving these players minutes and allowing them, and probably having. I mean, we're not privy to the conversations that happen behind the scenes, but I'm sure as well he's probably sitting down with them. I remember there was rumours about Gilmour going on loan, and I'm sure he might have said, "Look, if you stay, I can teach you so much about what I want you to be doing in this position, the training sessions." He seems like a guy that has really got everyone kind of smiling and happy, and really happy to be at the club and fighting for their place in the squad as well. Everyone's trying to impress him all the time. He wants to come on for a bit off the bench, like Pulisic, trying to be an impactful player so they can get into the squad for the next game. Yeah, I mean, as Jay said, we're lucky to have him, and it could be a brilliant season.
Completely agree. Someone that comes into the side today was obviously our match winner when we last played Manchester City, is Hakim Ziyech. Pat, he's our one to watch today. Hakim's another one who, on his day, is one of the very best in the league in terms of being a creative player, and we know how special he can be. He's also one of those that I suppose is almost a Manchester City-esque player. He's a kind of player that would fit into their system. Do you think there's a little bit in that today, maybe why he's got the nod, because players recognise players, don't they? In that aspect.
Do you know that it's partially that, but I think it's just his time. What we're talking about players improving under the manager. I think the projects he's had, Werner was a project, Havertz was a project. He's done them all right. Ziyech is another project. You've got to get the best out of him because we know how good he is. But he's doing that all the time. This is what I used to say about Pep, and still do. He gets good players and makes them better. He gets great players and makes them brilliant players. And that's what one of Pep's strengths was. And we're seeing it now with Thomas. He's doing that as well. And the classic example of it is there's two. Ziyech, he will do it. He will get the best out of him. The other one is, wait for it, he's made N'Golo Kanté better. How did you do that? He has. I mean, he was unbelievable beforehand, and he's made him better. But yeah, I mean, Hakim's the one that we will come against this next season quite a lot. A lot of teams will park the bus. And we'll need somebody who can... We're not needing somebody who's lightning pace that's going beyond people, because if we park the bus, Hakim's important, really important for that. So he's important between now and the end of the season. But I think it'll be even more important next season. So he needs his game time. He needs that time to mature into the squad and into this group and get everybody understanding what he is capable and what he likes best. So looking forward to him. Do you know what? I've just got a feel that him eventually with Havertz, the way that Kai glides into that inside forward area and his delivery, that for us in the future is going to be something really brilliant. We'll just have to do it with Timo today.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's test your knowledge, boys, because I know you really enjoy the quiz. So our quiz this week is a little bit of a mind back to 3 weeks ago. How much do you remember about the FA Cup final win? So, Jay, I'll start with you. This is a difficult one to start, but again, I've got nothing but confidence in you. So, first question today is, who were our starting front three? I mean...
Hold on. Werner.
Yep.
Ziyech.
Yep.
And Mount.
Good work. Good start, lad. Fair play. Right. Zach, your question. Which minute did we score our winner in? 55th, 60th, or 65th? You've got multiple choice here.
What was it?
55th, 60th, or 65th?
Fifth. Winner.
We only scored one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 55th.
Yep, correct. Good work.
Okay.
Pat, this is one for you. Who had higher possession, Chelsea or Manchester City?
Oh, that's the game. You broke up before. I didn't know what game you were talking about. What are you talking about? In the last game there. I think it's a trick question. I think it was dead level.
Oh, you're close. Man City, 55%. So it was tight. It was tight. You were close on there. Yeah. Jace, which Chelsea legend appeared on Matchday Live before the show with us?
I think I was in a pizzeria when this was happening.
Big player.
Oh my God. I don't know. Hold on.
Can I have a go?
Of course you know, Pat. You were here.
I think I know.
Come on, Jay. Yep.
No, that was Porto. Paulo Ferreira. I don't know.
Franco Zola.
Yeah, I thought it was Zola.
All right. Well, let's test you then, Zach, because the next question is, who appeared after the game with us?
I wasn't on it.
Hold on. Can I just?
I wasn't on it.
I wasn't even on that show with Zola.
I
wasn't even on it.
I didn't ask, mate. I didn't ask if you were on it.
How can you ask me a question where I wasn't even on it?
Question 7. Was Jason Cundy on? No, it's not a question.
Absolute scandal.
That's so Fred.
Who was on after? Who was on after the game?
Pat Nevin.
Can I
guess? It's correct. In fairness, it is correct. I'm not having it. I meant Torre Andre Flo, but I tell you what, I'm going to pass that over to my ear. Your turn, Pat. Right, next question. Who assisted Hakim Ziyech's goal and also his disallowed goal?
Honestly.
This is a stitch.
Honestly,
I can't remember.
This is Ben.
I'm going Timo.
This is Ben.
It is Timo Werner.
This is like line of duty.
Honestly, we need VAR on this one.
All right. Well, VAR doesn't exist in this competition, I'm afraid. Jay.
Who's the referee? Is that what you're going to ask me?
No. You're good. It's just how the question.
What's the linesman's name?
Right? What's the fourth official's birthday?
There you go.
Who went off injured for City in the second half, but being replaced by Foden? Correct. Zach. This is a rough one.
Oh, God's sake.
Good.
Okay. Who was given man of the match? Werner, Rudiger, or Ziyech?
Well, you saying it's a rough one won't be Ziyech then. It won't be Ziyech, surely not. Rudiger.
What, Ziyech, mate? You've talked yourself out of it.
Right. That's ridiculous.
Final question.
For God's sake.
Pat, to draw. This is for you. What did Thomas Tuchel become the first coach achieving the FA Cup final? What was special about it for Thomas Tuchel? What did he achieve in reaching the FA Cup final?
I'm going for first German.
Yeah, it is correct. First German.
That's excellent. Pat, that's
good knowledge.
Superb.
That very good knowledge.
That's superb.
Mastermind.
That's superb.
You should. Let's very quickly run you through the teams. We'll call it a draw. Zach, you're involved in that as well. In goal, Edouard Mendy in goal. A back three. A back three of Cesar Azpilicueta, Andreas Christian, Antonio Rudiger, Reece James and Marcus Alonso in the wing-back roles. N'Golo Kanté, Billy Gilmour in the double six. Hakim Ziyech, Christian Pulisic and Timo Werner as well. Before we join our commentary team, let's hear from the boss, who probably had only about 5 minutes to sit down this week. Thankfully, spent those with Lee Parker.
It's a good job that you get on so well with Pep Guardiola, isn't it? Because I think you're going to see a lot of him in the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's better like this. Like if you don't like each other, it's not so nice to see you so often. So it's better like this. But on the other hand, it's always, it has an up and a downside, because the downside is the guy is always coming in company of huge monsters. So it was like this with Barcelona, and then personal level, I played with him being the Bayern Munich coach. And now with Man City, he creates these winning machines and these monsters everywhere he trains, and full credit for that. But like we did in Wembley, we want to close the gap for 90 minutes, and we want to be the team that it's hard to play against.
Kai Havertz has certainly been playing at a very high level, hasn't he, in recent weeks? How impressed have you been with what you've seen from Kai and his development in the recent weeks and months?
I was very happy with his reaction to the demands against Real Madrid. That was a step up front for him, I think, in his development to use his body against Nacho, Militao and Sergio Ramos. When he was injured here and he was a bit doubting and he was not in his best shape, I said, you did the right thing. The league brings out the very best in you. And I think for him, especially for him, it's the very best that can happen to him, because he's full of talent. And playing in a league and in a club where it's not allowed to rest for 1% for one day is exactly what he needs. And this is good, because then I don't have to push him all the time, because the club and the league does it for me. So I can play the good cop here.